Man, I tell you what, man, Sidro gave us a banger, man, that's going to be with us for a long time, man. I tell you what, that first song, man, oh, my goodness. If there is one thing I love, man, it is good old-fashioned heavy fucking metal, man. Oh, my God. Recently, I jumped down the rabbit hole of best of lists. That gem came to me literally 45 minutes ago, man. I'm like, I gotta get it on the podcast. I gotta get it on the stream, man. You guys are killing it already, man. I'm not even there yet. I'm not even at the venue yet. We got new tag team champions. Oh, we not live on Twitch? Oops. Uh-oh. Now we're live on Twitch. We got new tag team champions. We got Punk and Rollins on the show. We got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And we got a tease for Pentagon Jr. coming to the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. And when I get to the venue on this Monday night, very rainy Monday night in New York City, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for December 16th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Monday evenings, wherever you may be. And oh my goodness. We got David Thiering dropping a $200 super chat, and we got to give another round of applause. Another round of applause for my guy Thomas Franco, and we got a Billy Bomb. You know it's going to be a good night when we got a Billy Bomb in the chat. 3 unbelievable super chats tonight. David with a 200, Billy with a 100, and Thomas Franco with a 100. David says, hey, JD, just wanted to send my thoughts and well wishes to you and your family regarding your situation. I myself just found out tonight that my grandmother is going into assisted living. Sucks when family is sick, but I know we will push through. We are all behind you. Hashtag OTS for life. David. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much, man. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that you guys reached out to me on social media the way that you did, man. I don't really like to put out that type of shit, but I was feeling some sort of way last night. Did not have a good night, man. I just kind of holed up on my couch watching some YouTube last night until I fell asleep. But it's been a very tough, mentally draining week. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later. But David, my grandmother is in assisted living, and she's doing very well, and I'm glad that we convinced her to go into assisted living, because I feel like if she was still living at home all by herself, I don't think she'd be with us right now. So what I looked at as a bad situation, I honestly think it saved my grandma's life and prolonged her life by at least, at 94 years old, mind you, I think she'll be with us at least for another few years, no doubt about it. So my thoughts and well wishes back to you, my friend, in regards to your grandmother. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a situation that could prolong her life, honestly. So that's the way I look at it. Billy with a Billy Bomb. What's up, JD? OTS family, been a while. Recovering still, but please, all from the OTS family, send your love and prayers to JD and his family. And it's the holidays. Remember, there's people out there that needs help. So give a hand or donate. God bless to you, JD, and the OTS gang. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much, as always. We love having Billy in the chat. And Thomas Franco with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD, prayers to you and your family. And let it be known, we all appreciate your hard work when going through times like this. Let that never be forgotten, says Thomas Franco. Love it. Love it, guys. I always say, when I feel like shit, when I feel down, it's you guys that always bring me back up, man. And for all the messages that I usually get saying that I help you guys out in whatever situation that it is, no matter if it's depression or you're going through a loss or some sort of hardship in life and you find some escape for 2 hours. Every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter, man. For as much as you say I give to you, you guys give that same right back to me, man. And I very much appreciate you all being here every single time we do this thing called Off the Script. I appreciate you guys very much, man. We'll go over a little bit later on what's going on. There is a goal, which right now we got 3 out of 10. So if you guys want to check the goal, what I figured we would do is if we do meet the goal and we do get to 10 out of 10 super chats in the goal, that would be the orange super chats. We need 10 of them. We need 7 more. I will close the chat down at the end of the night, make it members only, and whatever you guys want to ask me, we'll set the timer for 30 minutes, and we'll have some fun, man. So that is the goal for tonight. Figured we have a little fun. And if you guys want to partake in that, it is there. If not, don't worry about it. I appreciate you all being here for the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off the Script. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. Monday night tonight, it is the official start of the road to WWE getting off the USA Network and moving on to Netflix January 6th with that major show that will be happening in Los Angeles. And by the looks of it, it is shaping up to probably be the biggest Monday Night Raw that WWE has ever had. In over 30 years, I can't think of a single Monday Night Raw episode that will be bigger than the one that's happening on January 6th. Everything that we got tonight is building towards that. Everything that we will continue to get from this point on is building to that. The reason why Survivor Series, though I don't agree with it, the reason why Saturday night's main event, even though I don't agree with it, was, for lack of a better term, safe. Triple H played it safe. I feel like the reason why we are playing it safe is because that show is going to be an absolute fucking banger. And they're saving legitimately, instead of sprinkling things here and there, at Survivor Series, at Saturday night's main event, on these nothing shows that are going into the holidays. This is typically the slow period for WWE. After the slow period, they are going to drop an atomic bomb that is going to absolutely level everything in the wrestling space. We're going to see things that we didn't get at Survivor Series and didn't get at Saturday night's main event. We're going to get returns. We're going to get the build to WrestleMania. Normally, the build to WrestleMania happens in January at a show called the Royal Rumble. The build to WrestleMania will be beginning on January 6th. No doubt about it. Seeds will be planted for WrestleMania on that very show, and it's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait. It's going to be not only the biggest Raw, it may be one of the biggest streams that we do right here on the podcast ever. And it will be one of the biggest streams that the entire community has on January 6th. And I can't wait to share it all with you guys, man. I'm coming fully prepped and loaded, and I can't wait to start the new year right on January 6th. One of those things that happened tonight for January 6th, it was rumored. We talked about it earlier in the week. We talked about it on TNT last week. It was the rumor that CM Punk and Seth Rollins would be the main event for January 6th Netflix Monday Night Raw debut, and that's exactly what we are getting. Now, they didn't say it was the main event of the show. They did preface the match announcement by saying this type of match needs the biggest spotlight and the biggest stage that it could possibly get. And Adam Pearce made it official tonight after a promo by CM Punk and after a rebuttal promo by Seth Rollins and a pull-apart brawl that saw them brawl into the crowd and into the ring and by ringside and then back into the crowd, and everybody was pulled apart. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is officially announced for January 6th, Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. Now, a lot of people are saying and asking, well, what does this mean for CM Punk and Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania? I don't know why people are jumping ahead by 2.5, 3 months. But that doesn't mean anything. The fact that we're getting match number 1 out of it, I feel like it's only going to be a precursor to what we get at WrestleMania. And I do feel like we're going to get at least a 3-match series. CM Punk wrestled Drew McIntyre 3 different times. And CM Punk lost to Drew McIntyre in that feud. And I do feel that we will get the same or more of the same with CM Punk and Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania. That doesn't mean because we're getting in at Monday night, January 6th, Los Angeles, Netflix, that's going to be a one and done. We're not going to do that. What I see playing out here, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get into the breakdown of their promos, I do feel like we'll get one match at Monday night. I do feel like we'll get another match at the Elimination Chamber, or both will be in the Elimination Chamber. And then we'll get the match at WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble is what I'm really looking at. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do to really amp up the feud going into WrestleMania. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but I do think that we're getting a 3-match series out of CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And that's just the norm. I mean, Seth Rollins and CM Punk are not embarking on this feud for one match and then move on to something else. No, they want to draw this out. They want to tell a story, and they're going to do it right. And it's going to culminate at WrestleMania because that was the plan last year, and there's no reason to think that they wouldn't go back to the original plan that was planned in April. So I do think we're getting that in Las Vegas at WrestleMania. The other match that has already been announced, you guys know, is Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. That was announced on Friday Night SmackDown this past week, right before Saturday night's main event. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in a tribal combat match or tribal warfare, and I believe it will be for the Ula Fala. and who is going to show up and how that match is going to play out. I don't know, man. We could see anybody and everybody in that thing. And obviously right now, Roman Reigns has a lot of enemies. Roman Reigns has a lot of people that are gunning for him. So we will see what happens there. But Roman Reigns will be on Monday Night Raw, and it will be a very interesting story to tell with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa on January 6th. The other match that they teased tonight, which was also teased at Saturday night's main event, which we're absolutely getting on January 6th, is Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. There is absolutely no reason to think that WWE is not doing this match. So for all the Liv Morgan stands out there, I'm sorry to tell you, your woman is losing the championship. And going into WrestleMania, I don't know what we do with Liv Morgan. It's Rhea Ripley's town, and it's Rhea Ripley's brand. And Rhea Ripley is the story surrounding this championship because it was always meant to go back to Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley was always meant to beat Liv Morgan in the end of this feud. I don't know why anybody would be upset about it. It's just a culmination of a story. Maybe Liv goes on and wrestles for the Intercontinental Championship. We don't know. They put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort into building Liv Morgan up. I don't think she's just going to squander an opportunity away. Or WWE, rather, is going to squander an opportunity at building Liv Morgan even further. I could see her going after the Intercontinental Championship, being that WWE is adding a secondary title on Monday Night Raw. So I wouldn't be too upset about it. But that title was always meant to go back to Rhea Ripley. And the War Raiders, they are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. Thankfully, the Tag Team Champions are on a legit team that I could feel we could see them a lot more than the Judgment Day. I don't know where we're going with Finn Balor and the entire group of the Judgment Day, but it's been a long time coming. Their reign of terror is finally over, and the War Raiders are the tag team champions. We will definitely talk about that tonight as well. And we got a major tease for Pentagon Jr. coming into the WWE. I put out there because I don't really want to throw it out there. I don't really know. I can only speculate from, my vast knowledge of the WWE product and what's going on out there. But they did have a vignette with a red zero, or looked to be on fire, and through the zero went it basically crossed out the zero. So I'm assuming that's for Penta, meaning zero fear. That is what Penta usually goes for as far as his logoing and his branding, zero fear. So I do think that WWE is setting up something with Penta. We'll talk about what, because the New Day have been kind of involved with different people here and there. Tonight they got involved with one Rey Mysterio. So I'm assuming if WWE is bringing in Penta, they will probably pair him with Rey Mysterio. And we'll get Rey and Penta against the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That's my line of thinking there. And let the jokes begin. Penta comes on into the WWE, and they already placed him in the fucking LWO, man. I know that's going to be a running gag for the next 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm just glad that he's finally arriving, and I'm glad that WWE is putting him on a show that is going to get the most eyes on the product, because he is going to be a can't-miss act on WWE television. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to spend my Monday night with you guys right here tonight on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you guys for joining me right here on the podcast. We're going to get into it in just a little bit. You guys are killing it tonight, man. Appreciate you all. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all of the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. I took Sunday off, and we'll be right back at it this week. We're going to hit the content hard again this week. So if there's news, you're going to get up-to-the-minute updates on everything that breaks this week. Right now, we're live, obviously. Tomorrow night, episode 77 of Tuesday Night Titans with the Solid Monster. There's a lot that happened since last Tuesday, so him and I are going to go over all the wrestling news and give you guys a very entertaining 3 hours tomorrow night. Can't wait for that. Wednesday night, Jesse and I will be live for AEW. It's AEW's Holiday Bash. It looks to be a great show. Tony Khan has set up the Saturday Collision show at the Hammerstein Ballroom to be a great show. Hopefully AEW can start turning the corner and start giving us great television. The only thing is World's End doesn't really look all that enticing. World's End is lacking story. So we will go over it the best that we can, but Wednesday's show looks great. Saturday shows look great. And then the taping for Dynamite at the Hammerstein Ballroom for next Wednesday, I'm sure is going to be more of the same. So we will talk about that when we get there. But we got a lot of stuff coming up right before the holidays, so it's going to be a good time right here on the podcast. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 likes is the goal tonight. The goal we have in the chat is set 10 orange super chats, and we close the chat down at the end of the super chats, and we do a VIP members only Q&A. So that's what's going on there. So make sure you guys get in on that. And tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Make sure you guys go and check out Blue Chew. Sign up, use that code JD. All you guys need to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. That's BlueChew.com, code JD. And if you guys want to support the show, as always, super chats are open. And leave a comment down below in the comment section. If you guys are watching this after the fact, every comment helps us out in the algorithm. So make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you are thinking about Monday night going into January 6th. Speaking of January 6th, we're going to start off with CM Punk. CM Punk's music plays. He makes his entrance out to the ringside area. And we have CM Punk starting the show in Boston, Massachusetts. Fans are chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. Fans are very happy to see CM Punk. And he told them to be careful because some people won't like it that they're chanting his name, meaning Seth Rollins is not going to like Boston so much for chanting the name of CM Punk. He pointed out a guy in the front row who was wearing a New York Mets jersey. I mean, that guy's got some balls wearing anything New York and Boston, but live on the edge, I guess. Live on the edge. He says he didn't want to call attention to someone who doesn't matter, but it's brave of anyone to show up in Boston wearing something from New York. Punk says he's feeling low and is in a bad mood. He said Seth Rollins is right, that the issue between them cannot be avoided. He says it's only a matter of time before they lock up in the ring. I think we kind of knew where this was going before he said anything tonight. He says he feels he will always be overshadowed when he talks to the fans from the ring. The stupid music is going to hit. He just has this fear that whenever he says something, Seth Rollins' goofy music is going to hit. He mocks Seth's laugh. He says he dresses like Liberace. He says he likes Liberace. That's not a negative on Liberace. He just said because he wears Elton John sunglasses, that doesn't make him Elton John. He says just because he grew up idolizing him doesn't make him CM Punk when he puts wrestling trunks on. I guess that's a good analogy, huh? But I do think that Seth Rollins' gimmick is kind of influenced a little bit by Elton John or Prince or a combination of both. Punk said it's true when Seth says he ghosted him. So he admits to ghosting him. He ghosted everybody when he left WWE 8 years ago. He says that's the part of the past. He says he's the bad guy. Then he asks the fans to raise their hand in the crowd if they've ever played the role of a bad guy. Punk seemed surprised how few arms went up. I think everybody was lying. Everybody in this chat has played the role of a bad guy before. He says there is no such thing as bad students, only bad teachers. He said, therefore, Seth is a failure. Seth is his failure. He says he's willing to now give Seth the wrestling lesson he once asked for right now for free. He says he should look at what Drew McIntyre went through and ask himself if he's tougher than Drew McIntyre. He said no. Nobody believes Seth Rollins is tougher than Drew McIntyre. He says they'll have to staple him back together when CM Punk is done with Seth Rollins. Punk indicated he was surprised Seth has yet to interrupt him. He said it pissed off Seth that fans chanted his name during his 7 years away from WWE. We got another chant of CM Punk. And Seth's voice all of a sudden started chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, along with the fans chanting CM Punk. Now, Punk looked through the aisleway. He looked at the stage. Fans were looking around. Rollins comes dressed, not goofy. He doesn't come dressed all decked out, overshadowing everything else. No goofy outfits, no colorful outfits, none of that. He came dressed almost like he was the Messiah, Seth Rollins. I kind of like the Messiah, Seth Rollins. I don't know how you guys feel about the Messiah, Seth Rollins, but I actually kind of liked the Messiah, Seth Rollins. Maybe tone it down a little bit from what they used to do. So Seth is out there, and Seth said, life is about perspective. And he thought perhaps if he came out there and saw him the way the fans see him, it might give him a new perspective and make him feel differently about who he is. So Punk is in the ring, and Rollins is doing one of these deals, puts his hand above his eyes, and he's looking at the ring. And he says, nah, even from way out here, you're still an asshole. Punk says he's overjoyed he didn't come out to his stupid song, but for once he's coming out the right way because he belongs in the audience with the rest of the CM Punk fans. Seth said that doesn't embarrass him to be in the crowd with the fans. He got some cheers for that. He says he's a fan, and he will always be a fan. I'm a fan, and I will always be a fan. I love this place, he tells CM Punk. When you abandoned this place and hoped it would die without you, I put it on my back and made this show and this brand stronger than it's ever been. He said if anyone should be embarrassed, it should be Punk, because he has more WrestleMania main events than he ever will have. That's just a fact, Phil. So he called CM Punk by his real first name, Phil. And this got Punk angry. I mean, there's only a couple of things that get Punk angry and throw him over the edge. That kind of shit does it. Punk leapt over the barricade and met Seth in the aisleway. They brawled and started punching at each other. They were separated very quickly by referees, agents, and Adam Pearce, who was out there. Punk broke free and went back after Seth at ringside. They continued to break free and fight, making their way to the ring. Punk grabbed Seth's hair and started punching away at him before letting go and rolling out of the ring. We got more CM Punk chants ringing out in Boston. And they met in the aisleway. They went in opposite directions. Punk went through the crowd via the timekeeper's area. Seth Rollins went and jumped over the barricade where they first started this brawl, and then they met in the crowd and started brawling again, and they started to get pulled away from each other, and Punk was all red. He was yelling. It was almost like a fucking demon came out of CM Punk, man. Real great intensity here. This was intense. It was very angry. And that's exactly what you want to see here. He was huffing and puffing. They show Punk up close. Tessitore said this was outrageous. Wade Barrett said Seth came to fight, thus no Elton John sunglasses. And that's the way the segment came to a close. So you knew after this segment where WWE was kind of going with this. You knew that they were going to go and do Punk and Rollins at Monday Night Raw, debut, Netflix, January 6th. You just knew based off what we saw here. Because they're not going to do this big push, this big sell, and then not do it and wait till, I don't know, Royal Rumble or wait till Elimination Chamber. No, you got to get it done, and you got to do it right. And January 6th is right. Now, a lot of people are already asking, what does this mean for CM Punk and WrestleMania? If he's wrestling Seth Rollins on January 6th, Monday night, Netflix in Los Angeles. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's like people are just void of fucking logic. I don't really understand why this is even a question. It's almost as if these people don't think another match can happen after that. This is the way that I see it playing out. And I want to take you guys on a ride. I already mentioned this weeks ago. I do feel that both of them will be at each other's throats at WrestleMania, even before WrestleMania. I do think that they will be at each other's throats even before then, and that will be at the Royal Rumble. CM Punk and Seth Rollins will have their main event match on January 6th. CM Punk will win. CM Punk needs to win because CM Punk is going to get a world championship match at the Royal Rumble against Gunther. That's what's going to happen. Now, Rollins could win, and Rollins could get a world championship match at the Royal Rumble. But I'm going to go with CM Punk because he's already made speculations and speculatory comments that he's going after the world championship after beating Drew McIntyre. So I think WWE is going to pay up on that and give us that at the Royal Rumble. Now, that will be a one and done for now. I do think we get Punk and Gunther at the Royal Rumble for the World's Heavyweight Championship. I do think when Punk beats Rollins on January 6th, we don't see him until the Royal Rumble. There'll probably be some words spoken here and there from Punk and from Rollins on the road to the Royal Rumble, but I don't think they truly get involved again until the Royal Rumble. Punk is going to lose to Gunther. He's not going to win the World Championship. There's no reason to take the belt off Gunther at Royal Rumble. None. Unless WWE wants to have Punk go into WrestleMania and he truly gets his main event and defends the title against Seth Rollins. I don't think that's going to be a bad idea. I just don't really want to see that at WrestleMania. I don't think Punk and Rollins needs the World Championship. Punk loses to Gunther. And all because of Seth Rollins. I don't know how they finagle it. I don't know how they plan it. I do think that's the case. Seth Rollins will be in the Royal Rumble. And I already did a callback to 1997. And it was at the Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome in Texas, where Bret the Hitman Hart had eliminated Stone Cold Steve Austin from the Royal Rumble. Now, Bret went on to win the Royal Rumble, but he also didn't win the Royal Rumble because he eliminated everybody and was the de facto winner. Stone Cold Steve Austin was eliminated and both feet hit the floor. We saw it all over the replay. But the referees were, at that time, preoccupied with what was going on the outside. Now, it was Mick Foley and Terry Funk, and I think The Undertaker and Vader were out there. Something was going on the outside, where all the referees were basically preoccupied, and none of them seen Stone Cold Steve Austin go over the top rope with both feet hitting the floor. It was at that point Steve Austin said, nobody's looking at me, nobody sees anything. He got back into the ring, he dumped out Bret Hart, he won the Royal Rumble, and Bret Hart basically went on his crusade of anti-WWE, which I think was the best Bret Hart character that we've ever seen. I do think that WWE is going to play up something very similar to that at the Royal Rumble. I do think that Punk is going to come on into the Royal Rumble, and I think he's going to eliminate Seth Rollins, just like Stone Cold eliminated Bret the Hitman Hart, and it will be a situation where he screws Seth Rollins out of the Royal Rumble after Rollins screws Punk out of his match with Gunther earlier in the night. I could absolutely see something like that taking place. And it wouldn't be the first time that CM Punk, who's an avid Bret Hart enthusiast, gives us a callback to something Bret Hart related. I mean, we saw it all over the SummerSlam match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I mean, it's not going to be the first time that CM Punk is taking a page from the Bret the Hitman Hart playbook. I would love to see something like that play out. So that's where I think it's going. Now, maybe both guys get into the Elimination Chamber. Maybe both guys fuck each other over, screw each other over in the Elimination Chamber, and then we get a championship match at WrestleMania with Gunther and whomever comes out of the chambers. John Cena. I don't even know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. At this point, I don't know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. It could be fucking Dwayne for all we know. But Gunther and Cody are going to be the champions going into WrestleMania. short list of people who are going to be facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. John Cena, Randy Orton, or The Rock. Gunther, I don't know. I could see something coming out of the Elimination Chamber where Gunther gets his match through the chamber, and then we get his championship match all squared away at WrestleMania. And then we get Punk and Rollins, Part 3, the rubber match, at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Doesn't need to be for the championship. Punk doesn't need to be Gunther at Royal Rumble for the championship. Rollins and Punk does not need to be for the championship at WrestleMania. I would rather Punk win the championship at WrestleMania at some point in the near future. Not this year. Maybe we do it at 42. But that's the way I see it playing out. Honestly. Now, I could be just all over this fantasy booking, and it's nothing more than fantasy booking, but I could see that playing out in that way. Maybe it's not the same exact way that I'm detailing for you tonight, but I could absolutely see that being the way it plays out. But January 6th is the best place for both of these guys to have match one. And you need to have that show be the biggest ever. And this is certainly a way to get that ball rolling. And if that show was not sold out yet, it is certainly going to be sold out now. So good on them. Right decision. I'm looking forward to it. And I think Punk and Rollins are going to kill it. I don't know how you guys feel about this feud. I feel like the McIntyre-Punk feud was obviously a lot better. It was a little bit more detailed. I do think that the Punk-Rollins storyline, after the year that they've had off, kind of fizzled out a little bit in light of the McIntyre feud. And when we're all looking at the feud and waiting for it to be the same intensity that we had with Drew McIntyre, it's not going to be that way. Because McIntyre and Rollins are two different performers. McIntyre is more, I would say, emotional as a storyteller than Seth Rollins is. There's just more intensity from Drew McIntyre than there is intensity coming off of Seth Rollins. I do think McIntyre is a better dance partner with CM Punk than Rollins is going to be a dance partner with CM Punk. But I'm going to let this play out. Match number 1 is on January 6th. Great move to do that there in Los Angeles. And that is going to be, I believe, match 1 of 3 for these two. So we'll see what happens. Rollins has got to get a win over Punk at some point in this feud. You can't have Punk beat him all 3 times. I do think that Rollins is going to get 1 victory in this 3-match set, with Punk getting the victory at WrestleMania. But that's the way I see it playing out. And I'm very excited to see how WWE plans all of this from January 6th all the way to the Royal Rumble. Moving on. We have Finn Bálor and the rest of Judgment Day. They cut backstage to the Judgment Day. Bálor, Liv Morgan, Dominic, Raquel, and Carlito. Bálor asked Liv Morgan, Dominic, and Raquel where they were on Saturday night. We're supposed to be a team, Bálor said. Liv said they believe in him and didn't think he needed any of their help. She said that they're all banned from ringside for his match against the War Raiders tonight. Raquel, with a little dose of sarcasm, said, when you listen to Finn, you always win. Finn smiled back at her in a very yeah, shut the fuck up, bitch. So right now, the Judgment Day is not looking all that hot. And where were they on Saturday night? It's definitely all a setup. You don't think Dominic Mysterio is listening to the things that Finn Bálor is saying. You don't think JD McDonagh is listening to the things that Finn Bálor is saying. Dominic, Liv, and Raquel all operate on one brain cell. JD McDonagh is his tag team partner. Carlito's out to fucking lunch. Nobody gives a shit that Carlito is there. I don't even think they realize Carlito is there. Such a non-factor. Which is sad. How many years did people want Carlito back in the WWE? And look at what they've done to him, man. Absolutely a waste of a roster space. It's ridiculous. But I feel like this is all being done to set up Bálor to kick him out of the Judgment Day. I mentioned on Friday Night SmackDown, and I mentioned on Saturday night's main event and the post show. If you guys watched SmackDown, there was a scene with Nick Aldis and Dominic Mysterio in the background. You saw it briefly. They shook hands or they were embracing, and then they walked away off screen. Is Dominic Mysterio facilitating a trade of Finn Bálor off of Monday Night Raw onto SmackDown to get him out of Judgment Day because they know that with Balor's leadership, the Judgment Day is fucking dead. And that the Judgment Day needs new leadership. And that Dominic Mysterio takes the leadership role of the Judgment Day. Is he ready for that type of role? I don't know. Is Judgment Day ever going to be taken seriously with Dominic Mysterio leading the Judgment Day? I don't know. It's a very interesting side story here, side quest for WWE to see play out. But Balor lost his opportunity at the World Championship. He lost to Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Gunther beat both him and Priest, which he's done with both of them. No more Judgment Day nonsense for Gunther. He wasn't even on the show tonight. Damian Priest was. He's not done with Balor. He's looking for more revenge on Finn Balor, which I'm assuming will play into the Judgment Day story with him being kicked out of the Judgment Day. But is Dominic ready to lead the Judgment Day? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's not really the most serious character unless they give the leadership to Liv Morgan. Judgment Day is right now a huge question mark. They are definitely not the same as they were going into last year's WrestleMania. Very, very different group. They are hyping up the advertisements for Netflix, as they should, for the debut on January 6th. There was a commercial that aired with Triple H driving to WWE headquarters. He said the logo, the WWE logo, says it all, and then stood in front of the new Raw logo that will be unveiled, or has already been unveiled. I tweeted it out earlier today, this afternoon. The new Raw logo that will be the new brand logo for the Netflix era. It is all over social media. I quite like it. It's a little old school, yet retro at the same time. Triple H loves his silver color. Every fucking logo has a hint of silver in it. The NXT logo is all silver with black. The new Raw logo is silver in lettering, and the SmackDown logo is silver with blue. So he loves his silver. Silver is usually a color that signifies second place. But he loves his silver. I quite like the new logo. It's better than the old logo that we saw that looked like it was a B instead of an R. Raw is Boar. Or Baw. No, thank you. Seth Rollins. He's raging backstage with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is yelling at him. Seth says he wants to fight with Punk, and he wants him, Pearce, to make it happen. Pearce is yelling, well, if you guys give it a rest for fucking 10 minutes, I can maybe do my job. Drew McIntyre walked up to Seth Rollins, and this is very interesting. Drew McIntyre walked up to Seth Rollins and said people told him when it came to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline to just get over it. He said everyone enabling Roman Reigns needs to be taken out. Seth said Drew thinks because they have common ground, common hatred for Roman, that they're now friends. No, we're not friends. Seth said Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are his friends, and Drew is not. He said friendships are forged out of respect, and he respects Jey and Sami Zayn. He said now he has to go do something you, Drew, couldn't do, and that is go end CM Punk. Now, I don't know how Seth Rollins' character is going to evolve over the next month, 2 months, 3 months going into WrestleMania. I don't. But I want to throw something out at you guys that I was thinking about now that we're seeing Drew McIntyre's mission statement. Take out everybody that has helped or is standing side by side with Roman Reigns. He mentioned something on Saturday night's main event. And he beat Sami Zayn on Saturday night. Very good match. Not long enough. None of the matches were long enough, in my honest opinion. He went through the curtain after the match was over and said, 1 down, 4 to go. Now, who is 4? You can speculate on who the last 4 men are that he needs to take out. Sammy's one of them. You're assuming that it's the War Games team, the OG Bloodline War Games team. Took Sammy out. Jimmy's next. Jay's next. Roman is next. CM Punk is next. Is CM Punk one of the men that is part of the four? Maybe it's not CM Punk. CM Punk is moved on from Drew. They got nothing to do with each other. I'm assuming they may cycle back at some point. Maybe one of them wins the World's Heavyweight Championship at some point, and then they come back and revisit that feud. Is he talking about Paul Heyman? We don't know. Paul Heyman's the wise man. He could easily be the fourth there. Or maybe it's not CM Punk or Paul Heyman, but maybe it's Solo Sikoa. Now, I've seen this rumor going around that maybe it's Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is against Roman. But at the same time, Solo Sikoa is the one that... Solo Sikoa is the one that ruined Drew McIntyre from winning the World Championship at Clash of the Castle in Scotland. Now, or at Glasgow. It was Glasgow. At that point, I want to throw something by you guys because I feel like if it's not Punk and it's not Heyman, it certainly has to be Solo Sikoa. But how could it be Solo Sikoa if Solo Sikoa is the tribal chief and is operating against Roman? January 6th, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, tribal combat, Ulafala, on the line. Who is the real tribal chief? That's what they're going for with this match. What if Drew McIntyre is the one to get involved in tribal combat? Now, obviously, Roman is a target. But what he could do in that moment is take out both. It's a prime opportunity for Drew McIntyre to take out both Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. How does he do that? If you guys remember, now I don't know if this is going to come into storyline again. This is strictly fantasy booking. This is just me thinking off the top of my head. What if we go back to when Drew McIntyre signed his re-up, his re-extension, a new WWE contract to stay with the company, presumably for the next few years? What was delivered to him in a video that went viral on social media while he was sitting at the table with his wife and his family? And what did he receive and from who? It was a big, big sword. A very medieval-like sword delivered to him by The Rock. Now, I don't know if that has any family homage or any family influence there for Drew McIntyre. But The Rock delivered this gift upon signing a new WWE contract. And The Rock, presumably, is everybody's boss. He's the final boss. So maybe come January 6th, with Drew McIntyre probably eyeing both Solo and Roman, he's got an ample opportunity to take out both. How does he do that? He takes out Roman. Roman doesn't win. Roman is not the tribal chief because Roman doesn't have the Ulafala. Solo Sikoa. He takes out Solo Sikoa. He doesn't have the Ulafala, so Solo Sikoa can't call himself the tribal chief. He takes the Ulafala. Drew McIntyre takes the Ulafala and hands it to The Rock. Thank you for my gift. Here is your gift. Now, Drew McIntyre would have to be the most fucking evil man in the business to want to go and do that. Is he thinking along those lines? Roman is not going to have the Ulafala because if we give Roman the Ulafala, then that means he's got all the power back. Solo Sikoa, how do I fuck this guy over? I take away from him what he took away from me. He took away my world championship. I'm taking his Ulafala away. He's got no Ulafala. He's not the tribal chief. He gets kicked out of his own bloodline. He's got to go groveling back to his fucking family. He hands the Ulafala to The Rock. And then that's when we get The Rock and the Roman program kickstarting itself for WrestleMania. Now, again, I'm thinking outside the box here. I'm thinking completely outside the box. But you got to understand, if Drew McIntyre is targeting everybody that is in the bloodline. Solo Sikoa needs to be targeted. Punk right now has nothing to do with McIntyre. McIntyre said at least he took a favor. Who knows what that favor is? He knows exactly how CM Punk operates. For all he knows, he's doing something to get at Roman and end Roman himself. He didn't even want to be there. He did it for Paul Heyman. He didn't do it for Roman. So does Drew McIntyre have a legit reason to take out Punk? They did shake hands. They did acknowledge each other. They did win war games together. It would be too easy for it to be CM Punk. Do we really want to go back to McIntyre and Punk? Solo Sikoa makes sense because Solo ruined McIntyre's chances of winning the World Championship a couple of years ago. Roman Reigns, he gets that little follow back. He's got all the power in the world. That's the one thing nobody wants. I may be thinking outside the box, but it is crazy enough that it would work, to be quite honest with you. Again, it all stems. We don't really know. And I guess this is just how The Rock operates, and he may want this by design. We don't have a fucking clue as to who is coming out of this thing. We don't know what the plans are for WrestleMania. We don't know what the plans are for the Royal Rumble. Normally, we have a good solid, you know what? I think this guy is a legit favorite to win the Royal Rumble. We don't have any of that going into this January 6th Monday night Netflix show. We don't. Also, who's to say that Rollins doesn't eventually join forces with Drew McIntyre? Again, I'm going to think outside the box here. I just have a feeling. Maybe McIntyre's fourth is Cody. We don't know. Cody team with Roman. Could it be Cody? Again, outside the box, do we see Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre have an alliance at some point, even though he kind of scoffed at it tonight? He blew past it. Do we see McIntyre and Rollins have some sort of alliance going into next year? Maybe McIntyre ends up on Friday Night SmackDown. Maybe Rollins and McIntyre end up on Friday Night SmackDown due to the trade transfer or the transfer deadline. You know who else is over on Friday Night SmackDown? The uncrowned WWE Heavyweight Champion. That is Kevin Owens. Again, I'm thinking outside the box here. Do we get some form or fashion, a group form between McIntyre, Rollins, and Kevin Owens? Maybe we add Randy Orton to the mix. Maybe we get a modern-day, brand-new Four Horsemen. I don't know. Can you imagine that fucking group running your show? Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens all operating as a fucking heel faction? I don't know, man. I kind of like the sound of that. That would be fucking great. Again, I'm just thinking out loud. This is what we do here. We think out loud, we ponder, we speculate. This is what storytelling does, man. You can't do this with the other show because there's nothing to speculate over. It's nothing more than banger matches, man. You can't really talk about where this goes, where that goes with banger matches. Story, weeks of story. This is why we do what we do here. This is why we can come up with all these different scenarios. Love it. Bron Breakker. He went one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. This was an Intercontinental Championship match that got 2 commercial breaks. It's good to see the Intercontinental Championship get some love on their show. This went almost 19 minutes. 19 minutes, which was great. Typical WWE. They start the match, bell rings, and within 90 seconds, they go to a commercial break. That was basically all 5 matches on Saturday night's main event. With the only exception being Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens being the only match that actually got a picture-in-picture break. Bron Breakker and Ludwig Kaiser Intercontinental Championship match. They come back from the commercial break. Bron was in control. And Kaiser targeted Bron Breakker's shoulder here. Kaiser poked Bron's eyes, attacked his shoulder. Bron hit a leaping clothesline over the announce table. That did further damage to Braun's shoulder. Kaiser targeted it again after poking him in the eye. Kaiser continued on the shoulder following a second commercial break. So like I said, they did go and give this title match 2 commercial breaks. It was a three-segment match. Bron came back with a knee strike and some strikes with his right arm while still selling the left arm. Bron still managed to hit a leaping Frankensteiner for 2. Kaiser avoided a spear and hit a Finley roll for 2. Bron missed a tackle and went shoulder first into the turnbuckle, also targeting the arm still. With Bron leaning against the steel steps, Kaiser ran around the ring for a drop kick attempt. Bron was gone at that point. Bron ran up from behind Kaiser and hit a shoulder tackle, followed by a gutbuster in the ring and a less than average Bron Breakker spear for the 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker still is the Intercontinental Champion, and I will get into why I actually like this match a lot in just a second. We got a $100 bomb from Chris Tiger Harris. He says, last super chat, I got a crazy idea of what the favor is. A guaranteed main event, WrestleMania main event with Paul Heyman in CM Punk's corner. By the way, JD, it's been a messed up year, but I'm glad it's getting better, and I've gained the courage to say, don't fuck with me. 2025, here we come. It's exactly what I like to hear, man. Chris, that's exactly the type of energy I'm taking into 2025. Love to hear it, brother. I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you very much for being here tonight on OTS during this Monday Night Raw post-show. I really loved the way Bron Breakker worked this match, man. You start to see different aspects more and more and more of Bron Breakker's in-ring work and how good he's actually becoming. Now, we love the intensity of Bron Breakker. We love the animalistic rage of Bron Breakker. We love the fact that he's got this, like Chris Tiger Harris, don't fuck with me attitude. He's legit. He's badass. When he speaks, you listen. When he speaks, he backs it up, most importantly. He was selling his left shoulder in this match. This was a lot different than previous Kaiser matches. This is not the first go-around for these two guys. This match was a little bit more scientific. This match was a little bit more story-driven as far as selling a body part and working that body part, not being able to use that body part if you're Bron Breakker and having to resort to other means to win this match. This was a gutsy, come-from-behind, babyface victory for Bron Breakker, and WWE is leaning more into the babyface Bron Breakker realm than they are a tweener or a heel. Now, granted, Kaiser's a heel, and he's 100% a heel, and there's no reason to cheer Ludwig Kaiser. But this was a come-from-behind, old-school, scientific babyface, selling a body part, come-from-behind victory that you usually see from someone like Cody Rhodes or someone like Bryan Danielson or someone like that. So it was interesting to see a different match from what we've been given previously with Bron Breakker and Ludwig Kaiser. I actually liked it. I thought this worked. And it's all about getting Bron Breakker in that ring and shedding that skin one piece at a time to see how great of a performer he really is. Because he's going to need to be at his top level when he's the world champion. He's going to need to be this type of guy. He's going to need to show you exactly what he showed you in this match if he's going to be a top guy. And I love it. I think it's great. He's well on his way. Absolutely going to be a world champion in 2025. And don't take anything away from Kaiser, man. Great heel, great look, great in-ring work. The guy's going to be wearing gold as well in 2025. New Day. They arrived backstage. They bumped into Rey Mysterio. Rey blocked the locker room door. Xavier Woods wondered if he had a problem with them. Ray says it was everyone in the back. Kofi Kingston wondered if suddenly nobody had their backs after 10 years of sharing the locker room. Kingston said Ray was supposed to be a locker room leader and suggested he do something. Ray said they crossed the line with Big E, and it was in their best interest to find somewhere else to change. Woods says they didn't want to share a locker room with them anyway. And then they left. Now, I don't know where they're going with this, but clearly they are setting Rey Mysterio up for a situation where he is speaking on behalf of the locker room, because everybody was absolutely appalled by what the New Day did to Big E. Now, I will speculate on this a little bit further when we get to what we got later in the show. But the fact that Rey Mysterio was the talking head for the rest of the locker room and nobody else, I feel like that's going to come into play. And we will see how that all plays out with a very, very cryptic, yet in-your-face vignette that aired later on in the show, where I do feel someone will be backing Rey Mysterio up against the new heel duo of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. They went to Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett at ringside, where they showed the highlights of Saturday night's main event, where Kevin Owens, after the show went off the air on NBC and on Peacock, they showed the footage of the package pile driver from Kevin Owens to Cody Rhodes. He took out the WWE champion after Saturday night's main event went off the air. He said it's a banned move, which also took out Randy Orton. Now, the pile driver that took out Cody Rhodes was a lot more devastating than Randy Orton, so I'm assuming Cody Rhodes is going to be out for the rest of the year. I think WWE wrote Cody Rhodes off for the rest of the year. They told him, you've done so much for us. Here's your 3 weeks. Spend the holidays with your family. Come back when we get to January 6th in Los Angeles. It's a banned move. And Joe Tessitore said Cody Rhodes suffered cervical swelling and was kept overnight at a local hospital for observation. The x-rays came back negative when it came to fractures. So Cody is back home resting, and Cody will be back very soon. Says they all want to wish Cody a very speedy recovery. Cody's going to be off the rest of the year. Kevin Owens is going to be parading around with the Winged Eagle Championship on SmackDown, and it's going to be a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty. I mentioned this on the Saturday night's main event post-show. Kevin Owens walking around in Cody Rhodes' absence as the real world champion is just great television, especially with the Winged Eagle belt. Just great television. I don't know what they do and where they go, but I could envision Cody Rhodes coming back and claiming, obviously, he's the real world champion. Kevin Owens saying he got screwed and Cody cheated, which we all saw. Cody cheated with the steel chair. Some people were like, well, where did Cody cheat? He used the steel chair. He used a crossroads on the steel chair and cheated to win. So Kevin Owens is clearly going to have a problem with that. And the referee was incompetent and management was incompetent and management didn't do anything about it. So he's going to claim that he's the real world champion. And when we get to the Royal Rumble, we're going to get Cody Rhodes and we're going to get Kevin Owens and we're going to fight over who is the real world champion. And if you want to add the stakes and put them even higher, make it a ladder match. Got the WWF Winged Eagle Championship belt hanging on one side, the WWE Championship hanging on another. Ladder match for both world championships. I love it. Maybe Cody and Kevin Owens secretly have been asking for a ladder match. I don't know. I like the way that sounds. And I do think we're not done with this Cody. Clearly, we're not done with this Cody and Kevin Owens feud. And I do think that we will be getting that at the Royal Rumble. And if you're thinking, well, why don't they do that on Netflix? Can't do everything on Netflix. I mean, Netflix is already stacked. They got Roman and Solo and Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I mean, adding Cody and Kevin Owens to that, I think would be a little overkill. You gotta spread the wealth. Royal Rumble's a fine place to do that, to let the story play out even further and let it breathe. Can't tell a story if Cody Rhodes is off television and wrote him off for a pile driver. That's exactly why they did it, to prolong it to the Royal Rumble. Kathy Kelly interviewed Adam Pearce. This was Backstage about the rumblings regarding other matches besides Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa on Netflix, January 6th. Pierce says Punk and Rollins is now official. And then obviously, with the rumors circulating around that being the main event, it was a great decision to have that match on that show. So Adam Pearce has made it official. We got the graphic and everything. It is happening. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, January 6th, Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dominic Mysterio all walked out to the ring. Dominic and Liv did some mic work. Could not hear what Dominic was saying. Typical Dominic Mysterio promo, yelling into the microphone. Crowd is booing him obsessively. Can't hear a fucking thing he's saying. Liv Morgan then yelled into a megaphone, and she said she is the greatest women's champion of all time, and that 2024 was the year of Liv Morgan, and we should rename Monday Night Raw Monday Night Morgan, and they're just getting started. She said, no one is more qualified to lead the WWE into the new era than her. She was interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley walked out. She said she's going to want to hear what she has to say. Liv says, I don't care. Ripley told her, shut up. Ripley said Adam Pearce made it official. She is the number one contender for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. She said she can see into the future, and she's going to end her title reign. And she said, all that will be left with you is you being with your little chicken tender slut. And she pointed over at Dominic Mysterio. Testator said Liv will have to face Ripley at some point. Yes, at some point is January 6th on Netflix. I think that's the best way to do it. So 3 weeks, and this torture, this storyline that has absolutely overstayed its welcome, finally comes to an end. Love it. Rhea Ripley is going to be your new Women's World Champion. Let the crying commence. I'll go buy you a box of Kleenex, man. It's going to be all right. I promise you. Jackie Redmond approached Seth Rollins and talked about Pearce making this match with Punk official. Drew marched towards Seth, but Sammy cut him off, and they brawled and were pulled apart by security and by officials. Do we get another match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn on January 6th? I could see it. We didn't get enough of it on Saturday night. I could absolutely see that being the case on January 6th. Miz. After all that we got tonight, we go to the Miz. He was with Final Testament. He said he is proud to be associated with the Final Testament. But they don't need him anymore. He says they beat the Wyatt 6, and now they can go their separate ways. Cross said, whoa. What did you say? Don't say another word, says Cross to Miz. He says it's not over until he says it's over. He stopped Miz from speaking. He says they've been reacting to the Wyatts, and now they're going to make it or take it to the Wyatts on their terms. He said the Miz next week will go one-on-one with Dexter Lumis. Now, they have some history. Miz and Dexter Lumis have some history. Paul Ellering says he sees it his way. He saved him twice, so now he owes them. Cross reminded Miz that he's won 22 titles in his WWE career, so he can do this. Miz says he would go talk to Adam Pearce. Cross then said, I'm not sure if Miz can beat Lumis, but they will keep testing the Wyatts. He says they're teaching Miz that if you make a deal with the devil, you don't run out on him. Now, I don't really know where we go with this, but I could absolutely see this leading to an Uncle... Being that Uncle Howdy took the pinfall loss from Cross last week in that big 8-man tag, I could see Uncle Howdy and Karrion Kross eventually being the one-on-one match that we get. When and where, I don't know. But I could see them leading to that. There was a little bit of a weird look. I don't know if you guys pinpointed that or picked up on it. There was a weird look from Paul Ellering and AOP on Karrion Kross. Now, maybe, again, I don't know. maybe they felt like they ended it. They beat the Wyatts. What else is there to prove? And Cross is continuing to go after the Wyatts when he doesn't have to anymore. He's sending the Miz after Loomis. He just said that it's over when I say it's over, because he wants revenge for what they did to Scarlett. But they beat them last week. Could we be seeing Cross get bounced from the Final Testament? I don't know. I did say last week that I don't even think Cross needs the Final Testament anymore. I don't. I think Cross would be better on his own. I think, if anything, the Final Testament's holding Cross back. We'll see what happens. Zoey Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kayden Carter. This was a women's Intercontinental Tournament match. This was not very good at all. Crowd didn't give a shit. Crowd was as silent could be. Raquel Rodriguez has been an absolute flop since coming back. She is not good at all. And Kayden Carter, nobody cares. Zoey Stark, nobody cares. Now, I expected Raquel Rodriguez to get screwed over here by Rhea Ripley, but that did not happen. It went 9 minutes. And I said last week, with Dakota Kai beating Shayna Baszler, that Zoey Stark more than likely would get the win for pure fusion garbage collection. And that's exactly what happened. Carter wiped out her opponents with a nice-looking spinning dive through the ropes. Stark returned the favor after the break. Rodriguez set up Carter for a Tejana bomb, but Stark dropped them with a missile drop kick. That knocked Rodriguez out of the ring. So Zoey Stark gave Carter a Z360, which was botched to all fucking hell. It looked awful. And Stark got the 1, 2, 3. She advances to face Dakota Kai in the next round. This wasn't much of a match. Stark messed up her own finish. I don't know how much of it was Zoey Stark and how much of it was Kayden Carter, but this was fucking bad. The Intercontinental Championship tournament is not hitting the same way the United States women's tournament hit on SmackDown. I just think the women's division on SmackDown is a lot better than the women's division on Monday Night Raw. That's just plain as day. This tournament's not hitting. We need some juice to this tournament. And Triple H might have added that juice a little bit later in the show with what happened backstage towards the end of Monday Night Raw. Or truth. He met with Alpha Academy until he was confronted by Pete Dunne, who was still pissed about being called Butch. I don't know why he's still so upset about this. So, Truth says he loved the whole commercial that the Alpha Academy did. I guess they did a commercial at Survivor Series, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was for some boxer briefs or Duluth Trading or something like that. I don't know what it was. Some underwear. He says if Butch hadn't taken their advice, maybe he wouldn't have lost so easily. Pete Dunne walked in, says he's sick of hearing him say that name, and he's going to break his jaw if he hears it again. So he walks away, and then in walks Chad Gable with the American Made group, Creeds and Ivy Nile. He looks up at Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine and said they all threw away his training. He says they are all pathetic. Otis told Gable, shut up. He says, it's my time to kill my darlings. And he's going to start with Tozawa. Are we going back to American Made and the Alpha Academy? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there. Let's just get American Made over to SmackDown. How about that? Nothing more for them to do on Monday night. Jackie Redmond was trying to interview the New Day. They couldn't find the place to dress. They had no locker room to change in. So as she went to go up to interview New Day, Xavier blamed it on biased journalism. Then there was a commotion in the background. She's like, I'll be right back with you. I got to go follow this. Something's going on over here. Pure Fusion Garbage Collection attacked Kairi Sane. Io and Dakota Kai ran in to check on Kairi. Kyrie, who was in the Intercontinental Championship tournament match next week, she was in the tournament regardless. It looks like she might not be in the tournament after all, and it may appear that WWE is replacing Kairi Sane in the tournament. Now, we don't know with who. Maybe something had broken during the stream tonight. Maybe something online you guys saw that I didn't. But if Kairi is taken out of the tournament, I could absolutely see Io taking her spot in the tournament. And that would change the whole dynamic of the Intercontinental Championship tournament. Now, we don't know for sure. We don't know. Maybe they do something else. Maybe they call up somebody from NXT and put them in there. I mean, they did the same thing, I believe, with Jade Cargill. I think Lash Legend fit in there on SmackDown. They could do the same thing on Monday night. They could put Jakara Jackson in the tournament and not have it be someone from Damage Control. Because if Io is in the tournament, then Io's winning the tournament. That's the only logical choice. If Io is replacing Kairi in the tournament, then Io is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. But we don't know if that's the case or not. It's Io. It is Io. All right, there you go. There you go. Now my chat says it's Io. So now we got to think about what the tournament is going to look like. I thought it was going to be Dakota and Lyra. And I thought Lyra would win the tournament. And I thought Lyra would be the new Intercontinental Champion. And then Lyra would take that title and wrestle Becky Lynch at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. We may be looking at an Io Sky Intercontinental Championship match with Dakota Kai. Now, if that's the case, great. But a lot of people were claiming Io's going to win the Royal Rumble. It's going to be Io versus Rhea at WrestleMania. They did that spot last week where they both held the title at the end of Monday Night Raw. Io's going to win the Royal Rumble. But there's going to be so much woman power in that tournament that Io winning it, though people would have loved to see it, the probability of it happening was very small. Charlotte coming back, Becky going to be back, Roxanne going to be in there, Jordynne Grace is going to be with the WWE about that time, Bianca Belair is going to be in. I mean, this Women's Royal Rumble is going to be fucking loaded with talent. Io winning the Royal Rumble could be a long shot. Alexa Bliss may be back. Asuka may be back. Who knows? We don't know. Maybe WWE goes Io winning the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe we go Becky Io for the Intercontinental Championship. And maybe we go Rhea and Bianca. I don't know. Depends on if Jade is back. Again, we don't know. Jade's the dark horse. Some people are saying Jade is injured. Some people are saying the injury is very bad. Some people are saying the injury is going to keep her out past WrestleMania. Did they reroute plans? Does Bianca win the Royal Rumble? Does Bianca get Rhea? I don't know. It's a big match. But who does Rhea wrestle at WrestleMania? It's going to be a very interesting situation. Stephanie Vaquer, I'd love to see her in the Royal Rumble. I'd love to see her anywhere. Period. So we'll see. If Io's in the Intercontinental title tournament like the chat is saying, then Io is going to win the Intercontinental title. No doubt about it. Sucks for Natty, because Natty was in that same triple threat match, but I don't think anybody wants to see Natalya win the Intercontinental title. Main event, JD McDonagh and Finn Bálor against the War Raiders. This was for the Tag Team Championships. The reign of terror was finally ended tonight by the War Raiders. They made their entrance. Finn Bálor and JD McFish made their entrance. War Raiders were in control through a early break. 90 seconds, man. Hit the break. McDonagh used Ivar's beard to yank him down over the top rope as Bálor distracted the referee. Ivar responded by knocking down both men with a handspring double back elbow. That popped the crowd. Always great to see the big man doing some athletic shit. Eric tagged in and was in control until Bálor tripped him up from the outside of the ring. Bálor and McDonagh twice drove Eric into the steel steps, leading to a second commercial break. So both of these championship matches tonight got 2 commercial breaks. So they got 3 segments out of these matches. Good to see. They worked over Eric until Ivar made the hot tag. Ivar gave Bálor a seated senton. JD McDonagh with a cartwheel kick. Or he ate a cartwheel kick by Ivar. Ivar gave McDonagh a world's strongest slam off the middle rope for a near fall. He then gave JD McDouble a pop-up powerbomb combo, but Bálor broke up the cover. They went for War Machine, which is their finish. I prefer Thor's hammer, but War Machine is cool, I guess. Bálor dropped the top rope to knock Ivar out of the ring. Bálor gave Eric a sling blade and a dropkick. JD McFlurry, running out of fucking McDonald's menu items here. McFlurry hit a moonsault, and Bálor followed up with a coup de grace. But Ivar broke up the cover in the last second. JD McRib distracted the referee as Bálor went for a chair on the outside via the timekeeper's area. He pulled the chair, and all of a sudden, it got stuck. He couldn't pull it. He tries to pull the chair over the barricade, and then all of a sudden we see Damian Priest emerge as if he was just hiding out there. He's in a cameraman's weather suit. He's got a fucking, a fleece on, disguising himself as a cameraman's assistant. He pulls the steel chair back towards him. Bálor goes into the barricade. He gets taken out. So Damian Priest is out here. He's ruining the Judgment Day's chances. He prevented him from grabbing the chair. Priest knocked Bálor into the barricade. Bálor rolled back into the ring. And Eric and Ivar gave him War Machine for the 1, 2, 3. And the War Raiders are your new WWE World Tag Team Champions. We got fireworks, a nice pop. Crowd reacted to it. And then the show quickly went off the air, man. We didn't even get... This is what I hate about no overrun. Maybe WWE should format their shows a little bit better. The moment did not breathe. The War Raiders just ended the fucking treacherous reign of the Judgment Day. Bálor and JD McDouble. And they didn't let it breathe. They didn't get a moment to celebrate on live television. Fireworks went off and they held the titles up and then hard stop at 10 o'clock, man. God, I can't wait for Netflix. I don't think Netflix is going to have this type of problem. Monday night, we got new tag team champions. We got Bron Breakker retaining the Intercontinental Championship. And I do feel that we are setting ourselves up for some great fucking television on January 6th, man. It is going to be a big, 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 big deal. And you're starting to see the seeds being planted, man. I thought Monday night was a decent show tonight. Nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy. We got the CM Punk, Seth Rollins stuff. We got the New Day tease, the Penta tease. We got the situation with the War Raiders winning the tag team championships. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Things are being done. Seeds are being planted. Can't wait to see what they do. Friday night is a tape show. Friday Night SmackDown is a tape show. So I think that they will splice in some Kevin Owens footage from Saturday night's main event. I'm assuming they filmed it at Saturday night's main event. Him with the WWF Winged Eagle Championship as he pile drove Cody Rhodes at the end of the show. I will not be doing a SmackDown review as I will be at House of Glory with Solid Monster. We will be on the call for Live in the Moment. Hardy Boys are going to be there. So if I do anything SmackDown related, I will do it on Saturday afternoon. But I thought Monday night was a decent show. Nothing too crazy. But January 6th is being set up very, very, very nicely. Thank you guys for stopping by here tonight, man. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I could use the distraction for sure. Doesn't really feel like the holiday season over here. Weather sucks. I find myself kind of just laying low, man. Like, I watch social media from the shadows, man. I see what's going on. I'm still in the know, but I don't really have much to say to anybody nowadays. Just can't wait for the holidays to be over. Well, you guys are going crazy with the JD McDonagh puns, huh? JD McDonagh's a great fucking wrestler, man. We love McDonagh. Yeah, man, it doesn't feel like the holiday season. Can't wait for the season to be over. We're going to get into your super chats. Thank you guys, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go and check all of the other content on the channel. There is plenty of content. No matter what you are looking for, man, it is on the channel. So go and check it out. It is all there on the homepage. For sure. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Blue Chew. You guys know Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Does Blue Chew work? That's what many of you are probably wondering. Of course it fucking works. It works like Cody Rhodes cheating to win the WWE Championship at Saturday night's main event. It works just as good as that. Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is by giving you a month free, just to show you that it really does work. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, and it comes in a chewable tablet at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. Be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the process is very simple, man. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You're going to consult with one of their online licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. No questions asked. They're made in the USA. They're prepared and shipped directly to you very discreetly. And it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. The best part about it. First impressions are everything, guys. Like I usually say, a great first impression is a lasting impression. But why not have both? Have a great first impression and continue that great first impression and turn it into a lasting impression. Blue Chew wants you guys to try it out for free. Make sure you guys use code JD at checkout. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. That's BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Gabriel Boss. Mercedes did it again. Her and Hazuki stole the show last night at New Japan Strong Evolved. Can't wait for Monet and Mina at Wrestle Dynasty. I will not be watching Wrestle Dynasty because, quite honestly, Gabriel, I don't give a shit. It's just random matches thrown together. Don't care. I think I'm at a part in my life, I'm at an age, I'm going to be 43 in February. I'm at a time in my life where I want things to make sense. I want things to be like a fine glass of whiskey. I don't want you to give me shit for the sake of giving me shit because it's cool. I want things to matter. I want things to mean something. I want something to have importance behind it. I don't get that right now from the AEW product, and certainly don't get that from New Japan because I don't give a shit. I don't care. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD and OTS, hope everyone had a great weekend. Michael, the weather fucking sucks over here, brother. I don't know what's going on with this rain, but I did not leave the house all day. My guy Bastardo with a $5 super chat. Your reactions to Jesse's Collision Corner report throughout the segment was great. Best Collision Corner. Hope you are well during this season. Brother, I can't wait for the season to be over. I hope you are well. And Collision Corner is going to be a thing from this point on, man. Apex with a $1.99. KO, Seth, Drew, the new Shield against the Bloodline. I don't know if they'll be the new Shield, but we're looking at the new version of the Avengers here against the Bloodline. Yeah, I figured next Monday is taped. I don't know why. I mean, they could do a live show. I mean, it's not Christmas yet. You know, Christmas is on Wednesday. I guess they don't want people traveling on Christmas Eve. Maybe. Probably fucking hell to travel on Christmas Eve, no? Whatever, man. We're near the end of the year. None of this shit really matters. January 6th is what we're building towards. It's shaping up to be a fucking unbelievable show. We'll pick it up there. Even some of us creators, man. I was talking to Solomos. We may not be live on Christmas Eve because I'll be with family. And I'm not going to be live on January... December 31st, because Jason does a New Year's Bash stream. So I don't want to take that away from him. So we may take the next 2 weeks off. And we'll just hit it right back on January 7th. That's the plan right now. I got to talk to him tomorrow. Andy Suppers with a $5 super chat. JD, I want to ask you, is it possible for a new faction that could form within the next few weeks? If so, would you have it against the Bloodline, OG? I could see it happening, brother. I could see a new faction forming, for sure. Michelle with the $2 super chat. Seth Punk opener was fired. Drew Seth Alliance soon. Maybe. Maybe. Anything is possible. Michelle also with a $5 super chat. She says, Sammy Drew feud continues. I love it, but my question is, was Drew getting ready to attack Seth before Sammy arrived? And January 6th is truly feeling like a WrestleMania. It is. It is. Best in the world, Matt, with 3 months. Appreciate you, brother. Here's the 3 months in the venue. Happy holidays to all the OTS family, and let's make 2025 the best yet. Sidro with a $2 super chat. Reveal will be right to censor. Laughing emoji. Just kidding, it's Penta. It is Penta. I can't wait. Sidro also with a $10 super chat. Friend worked at Sperm Bank. Got fired for saying, get a load of this guy whenever someone walked in. Also, coffee was voted best drink in the nation. But it was unfair. There were absentee ballots. You get it? Absentee, T-E-A, ballots. I'll tell you what, Sidro, coffee is certainly the drink of choice in this household. I think the new design we get, by the way, speaking of coffee, I like both of those, Sidro. I think the new design, I think what we have Deviate work on, man, I'm going to push whatever I had given them for next year to the side. I think we're going to work on a whole new design. What do you guys think of a special upstairs to the venue, man, where we go and relax and we sit on the couch and we drink some after dinner espresso and some limoncello. Have the fireplace lit. Give it a nice kind of attic-y espresso bar vibe. I need some inspiration. I need some influence. It's the only part of the show that I wanna have sequences. You got the fucking dark horse, which is I fucking stunned every time I look at it. Then you got the intro, and then you got the venue, and then you got the super chat. We'll be all set. I think that's what we're gonna do next year. Nick Williams Thank you, my brother. Always good to see Nick Williams in the chat. Nick Williams says on this Monday night, with a 31-month membership, Netflix is shaping up to be a really strong show, but one thing I will know happen is that Drew will screw Roman. I have a feeling he will. WrestleMess with a $10 super chat. Let's not forget, when The Rock was an integral part of re-signing Drew McIntyre, Drew will return the Ulafala to The Rock after taking out Roman post-match on January 6th. That show is stacked. I could see that happening. I legitimately talked about that earlier. WrestleMess also with a new membership in the venue. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you for the $10 super chat. Hidden Network. Thoughts and prayers, JD. Thank you, man. Thomas Franco, thank you for the $100 super chat earlier. Appreciate you as always, man. MGM Ballin with a 37 months in the venue. We love you, JD. No matter what life throws at you and your family, just know you have the OTS squad always here for you, man. Can't wait for House of Glory on Friday. Love it. Show shaping up to be a banger, man. Last show for HOG this year. Billy with a $100 Billy Bomb. Appreciate you as always, man. Hope you are well. Hope you are on the mend. And I hope you are feeling better, brother. PW Shaw with a 45 months. Hey, OTS fam, couldn't watch the show. Got to keep trucking. OTS for life. PD Shaw is 3 months away from that Mustang emote. Adam Khan, the real Khan, with a $20 super chat. He says, cheers. Thank you, Adam. Is the House of Glory show on Triller TV? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Best in the world, Matt, with a $20 super chat. Make it 5. Halfway there. Cero Miedo. Hashtag Ray Phoenix. Free Ray Phoenix. Yes, you guys hit the goal, man. We'll be hanging out for at least 30 more minutes. Special subscriber VIP members only Q&A. Michael Krause with 12 months. Thank you, brother. Lewis Pentagon Jr. What's up, JD? OTS for life. Yes, indeed, brother. Always good to see Lewis in the chat. Snowman Khan with a 279. Can you see Punk and Seth draw number 1 and 2 at the Rumble? It depends on if one or the other gets Gunther at the Royal Rumble. If they get a championship match, then one of them will not be in the Royal Rumble. I think Punk gets the title match, and then Seth Rollins is in the Royal Rumble, but Punk does something to screw Seth Rollins out of winning the Royal Rumble. Sue with a $5 super chat. JD, from all the way down here in Tennessee, my family sends love and prayers to your family. I've got an auntie that's 97. I do understand. OTS for life. Thank you, Sue. I wish you and your family a very happy holiday. Hidden Network with a super chat here. Early Christmas treat, OTS for life. Hidden Network coming in big. John Clockwork with a $1.99. Seth is back in his M. Night Messiah look, if you saw. Yeah, I did. I think Rollins looks great that way. No more goofiness from Rollins, I hope. Best in the world, Matt, with a 20 and a 20. Penta and Ray versus The New Day. Shut up and take my money. Also, best in the world, Matt, Seth Rollins has got nothing on CM Punk. Thank you, brother. I think Penta and Ray against The New Day is where they are going. Adam Khan with a $20 super chat. Adam is the real Khan. Second cheers, he says. Beautiful. Best in the world, Matt, with another 20. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all my fellow VIPs in here. OTS. This one is for you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Best in the world, Matt always comes through big. Apex. What if Punk called Seth Colby? It's a possibility. I'm sure he'll go there eventually. Apex with the 199. What if Finn reveals he slept with Liv as revenge? You know what? I could absolutely see that being said. Nor would I blame the man. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Hooker asks, old man, would you like super sex? He says, I'll take a soup. Would you like super sex? He says, I'll take a soup. I think at that point, I'll take a soup too. And what do you call a little Mexican? A paragraph, because he's not quite an essay. I like the other one better. I think the other one might get me in trouble. Survivor 1993 with a $6.99. Any updates on the hologram mask? Yes, they haven't shipped it yet. It's waiting at a UPS facility in fucking Pennsylvania. They haven't shipped it yet. We will not have hologram by Wednesday. We might have hologram on Christmas Day, which would be fucking great. I give the gift of hologram or JD Gram on Christmas. Jesse's got to be there, though. We can't do the review. We can't do hologram. We can't do JD Gram without Jesse. It's got to be with Jesse. So if it's not Christmas Day, it's going to be the New Year's Day show. That's what we're doing. Lauren with a $5 super chat. January 6th predictions matches. Roman Solo, Punk Rollins, Orton versus Owens, Cena versus Gunther, Liv versus Rhea. New Day versus Raiders. Promos, The Rock. Who is Cena going to be wrestling? Cena's going to be wrestling somebody. I don't know. Sidro with a 5. Triple H to Tony Khan. Not sending Ray our way to team with Penta. That's okay. We got Ray on the roster. A Hall of Famer, that is. TK snorts some more powder. Yeah, they got Ray. It's funny that they team him up with Ray Mysterio. Yeah, here he is, Ray. You want him with Ray? There you go. King Mo Jackson with a $4.99. Just heard the New Day theme on YouTube. It's badass. Looking forward to something different, new, and edgy with this team. They are the new way. I didn't know they had a new theme. I gotta go listen. Jeremy 2006 with a 38 months. Not 31 months, 38 months. Sending prayers to you and your family during these hard times. January 6th is going to be epic. OTS for life. Appreciate you, Jeremy. Thank you, brother. John Clockwork with a $1.99. Chad Gables in the microwave again. Shaking my head. I don't know what they're doing with Gable, man. I really don't know. Master Chief Keith with a new membership. Master Chief, what the fuck are you drinking, Master Chief? Big Steve with a 3 months. What's good, JD? Hope you are feeling well. Thank you, Steve. Ricardo Linnell with a 52 months. Blue Chew needs to be the permanent sponsor of the Wednesday night AEW post show for obvious reasons. Yeah, because Dynamite and AEW makes you go soft. I get it. Mr. Team Bring It with a $4.99. I spent a little over $3,000 for both WrestleMania 2 nights, and Netflix Raw. I'm glad they're stacking up the card for Raw. Makes it all worth it. I mean, they were going to do that regardless. Enjoy yourself, brother. Vince McMahon's nuts smell like money with a $4.99. Yo, my Scottish brother. Out of the WWE talk because I know how draining it can be. Any new games you're looking forward to in 2025? Hashtag Cody the Cheap in the chat, please. New games? I don't know, man. I don't know. I downloaded Path of Exile 2. One of my boys gave me a code for PC. I haven't played it yet because I'm not mentally there to just jump into a new game yet. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones, I think, when it comes out for PlayStation 5. Other than that, I gotta look. You know what I'm looking forward to? The new Doom game. It's going medieval. They got a new Doom coming out. That's what I'm looking forward to. Rick Shaw with the new membership. Thank you, Rick Shaw. Michael Krause with a 2. No matter what OTS is here for you, bro. Thank you, Michael. TK Banks with a $10 super chat. I like your theory about Drew Rock. Maybe 1, 2, 3 he did it. Bad Blood was for Drew McIntyre's Claymore. Also, when Pierce announced the Punk Rollins match, The Rock was on the production truck behind him. I saw that. WWE does those things with a reason. Last time we saw that, it was when Rock was whipping Cody Rhodes in the rain outside his tour bus, where we saw John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the production truck in the background. Don Parker with a $10 super chat. Excellent show tonight. Saturday night's main event did bring back some good memories. I agree that Owens, after the match, should have ended the show. Love a good heel beatdown. OTS for life. Yeah, I'm sticking with my gut feeling on that. I'm sure Jason and I will talk about that on TNT tomorrow. Big Steve with a $1.99. I won't mind seeing John Cena versus Goldberg. Now, I don't think we put John Cena, who's on the last year of his career, in the ring with Bill Goldberg. We can't risk anything happening to John Cena. And Brendan Watson with a $4.99. Would you say that Bron Breakker versus Ludwig Kaiser was the best match of the night? No, I'd actually go with the War Raiders. I'd go War Raiders and Judgment Day as match of the night. Anyway, guys, I am about to close the actual chat down, and we are going to say goodbye to some of you. You guys are listening on the audio end of things. Thank you very much. If you guys would leave me a 5-star rating and a comment, I would really appreciate it on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all other audio platforms. I would really appreciate it. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night for the best duo in the IWC. That is me and the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans. Episode 77 tomorrow. It's going to be great. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night for TNT with the Solid Monster. Members only. Members only, man. Oh, my goodness. Members only Q&A, man. You got me for 30 minutes. What are we talking about? What do you guys want to talk about? Was there any news today? Any questions you guys have? You don't have to send in super chats. The super chats will remain open. If you guys want to send in super chats, you can certainly do that. It's not an obligation, but if you guys want to ask a chat question, I will answer them. If you guys are members don't need to super chat. Adam Hernandez comes in with a $20 super chat, though. Malachi, Aleister Black, or Adam Cole back to WWE. Can Triple H bring these guys back to a high level? I think so. I'd love to see Adam Cole back in WWE. Poppy Sensei has a good question. JD, what's your favorite coffee? If you guys live on the island here in New York City, man, if you live on Long Island, there is a little coffee shop here on Long Island. There's one in Huntington, and I believe there's one in Oyster Bay, I think. It's called South Down Coffee. Fucking great coffee. All I have by me is a fucking Starbucks, and I have this roastery called 4-5. Not a fan. Starbucks is all right, but Starbucks it's whatever. But South Down Coffee on Long Island, man. Great shit. Chris says, favorite Stone Cold match? WrestleMania 13, Bret the Hitman Hart. I Quit. Or submission match. One of the best matches that WWE's ever produced. Kayden Carter says, thought on Trent Seven leaving. I could not care either way. I know Trent Seven was not the only one that left. I know Jordan Grace is leaving. I know Josh Alexander's leaving. Kushida is leaving. Josh Alexander's wife is leaving. Trent Seven is leaving. It's amazing that all these names are leaving, that Tessa Blanchard's now there. Thoughts on Bron Breakker says, best in the world, Matt. Thoughts on Bron Breakker winning the Rumble this year or the Chamber? No. No, I think either Breakker gets Sheamus or Goldberg at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. Rick Shaw says, thoughts on the drone stuff? I really don't know. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but I do believe that this is all a psyop. This is a government psyop, and I do think something's going to happen when Trump takes office in January. I think they're just setting up for some weird shit. I think something's being planned. Whatever it is. If the government wanted to come out and say what it was, they would have come out and said what it was already. The fact that they haven't, I just think something very weird is up. If you're going to cause concern for the fucking American people who want answers, and then you don't give us any answers. I always say, don't believe anything the government says. The government is not for the people. They are not. I just continue to truck along and do my own thing. I don't give a fuck what goes on. As long as me and mine are okay, that's all that matters. Michael Krause says, will Randy Orton return January 6th? I think it depends. It depends on if we see Cody and Kevin Owens on January 6th. They may keep him out till the Royal Rumble, for all we know. Brian Owen says, best mic battle and feud, Punk vs. McIntyre, Punk vs. Rollins, or Punk vs. MJF? Punk MJF. Probably the second. It may either be one, it's very subjective, either one or two best feuds in AEW history. I would probably give it the number one treatment. I would probably say that's AEW's best feud ever. MJF and CM Punk. Followed by Swerve and Hangman. Sidro says, have you drank an Adios Mofo alcoholic drink? My favorite drink, like a stronger Long Island. Sidro, I never heard of that at all. An Adios Mofo? Do they sell them? What is it, a drink, a pre-made drink, or you gotta ask for that? The fuck is it made out of? Kayden Crawford says best black and gold matches, top 5. All 3 Gargano Ciampa matches. Gargano, Andrade, and Andrade, Gargano, Andrade, and then Gargano Cole. I don't count the pandemic Gargano Ciampa match. Poppy Sensei says, you excited for the Switch 2 supposedly in March? Yes. As soon as I can pre-order, it will be pre-ordered. My guy Billy says, JD, growing up in the 80s, who was your favorite band? Mine was Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses. Billy, I always found Guns N' Roses to be overrated. Always. I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan, though, because I'm biased. Slash with Miles Kennedy, I'll listen to that. I think Axl Rose was terrible. Overrated. My favorite band in the 80s growing up. If we're talking about who I came into liking on my own, I'm going to go early 80s or late 80s Sepultura, late 80s Metallica, Slayer, Testament. I'm a very big thrash metal guy. But if you want to go even back further, I mean, my dad got us on Collective Soul, Jethro Tull, Rush, Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, Tears for Fears. I love Judas Priest. I like Priest more than Iron Maiden. I think Maiden's overrated. Judas Priest right now is still killing it. It's more my style of music. The lead guitarist for Judas Priest actually has a side project called Elegant Weapons. One of my favorite albums of 2023. Fucking great album. So yeah, I'm a big music guy. Big Steve, what's your favorite Mankind match? Anything with The Undertaker is a given. And if you guys want to go watch Mind Games, Mankind versus Shawn Michaels, that was a fucking unbelievable match. Unbelievable match. Edward Lou says, maybe it's too soon, but do you think Triple H might already be thinking of what to say for 2026 so WWE will continue its momentum past 25? Absolutely. Absolutely, Edward. This guy! What was the first live event you ever attended? I'm assuming it's something at Madison Square Garden where I was way too young to even remember. Something at MSG for sure when I was a youngster. Charles Wright, favorite WrestleMania events. That is a tough one, man. You know what? I've always said, if you guys have been with me, man, OG fans, I've always said WrestleMania is probably their worst wrestling event all year. It's just nothing more than hype. I thought last year's WrestleMania was good. I thought this year's WrestleMania was great. If I had to choose one, what is it? What's the overwhelming opinion? 17, 18, 19? One of those? I think Triple H is doing a great job of bringing WrestleMania back to being WrestleMania, you know? I don't think Vince really cared about it. It was his baby. He knew people were going to watch and talk about it, regardless of what was on it. Lewis says, I think Tessa will be in WWE next year. There's an interesting theory on that. Dave Meltzer says that this test run is to bring her into WWE. This test run in TNA is to bring her on into WWE. WWE wants to see how she acts and behaves. Oh my goodness, we got a $1.99 super chat here from David Mercia. 7 and bait equals Mustache Mountain. I love them, man. Man, did I love those guys. Maybe he comes back. It's been a while since Tyler Bates been injured now, huh? Demeter Bullion, Shane O'Mac, Elmo Undies, Punky Funky with a $7.99. Hear me out, JD. Seth versus Punk. Drew attacks Seth in the match. Cena returns to fend off Drew. But then Punk takes out Cena like he did to The Rock in 2012. Did Demeter Bullion not drink tonight? Demeter Bullion may be onto something, bro. It's another idea, another good idea brought to the table. He follows up with a 99-cent super chat. He says, Demeter Bullion, not sure why Drew helps Punk, though. Maybe because Punk is not really pro-Roman? I don't know. Lisa Osborne says, when do you think Tiffy will cash in? You know what, Lisa? I've given up even wanting to know. I've given up caring, honestly. It should have happened already. Maybe they save it for January 6th. Maybe they save it for the Royal Rumble. I have no idea. SmackDown, the report is going 3 hours. We could see it on one of them big transfer night shows. Who knows? Worst arena you've ever attended? Asking this coming off Coliseum on Saturday. MGM Ballin says. It's tough, Ballin, because I don't really go to a lot of shows, but I can tell you the ones that I've attended in Schaumburg, in Chicago, at the Now Arena, man, there is absolutely fucking zero, and I mean zero service in that fucking building. When I was actually a part of the media for those shows for AEW, zero service. And if I got no way to social media when I'm reviewing the show and giving my thoughts on the show and I got no service, that's a fucking problem. Jay and Josh official. The Jay and Joe show official. Hey, JD, happy holidays. I was just wondering, what do you think about the mystery drone situation that is going on in New York and in New Jersey? I just talked about that 10 minutes ago, Jay. I think it's a government psyop that they're not telling us exactly what's going on. If they wanted to let us know what was going on, they would have told us already. Yet they said, oh, it's nothing. Everything is authorized to be there. Really? Thomas Franco says, JD, when will you do a Chris Van Vliet interview again? If Chris asks me and wants to do something, I would happily do that. I don't think he really is in the business of meddling with fucking lowbrow podcasters anymore. He's off to bigger and better things, man. He's out interviewing fucking John Cena and The Undertaker and everybody else under the sun, man. He don't want nothing to do with me. Sidro with a joke. Babe, is it in? Yeah. Does it hurt? Uh-huh. Let me put it in slowly. It still hurts. Okay, let's try another shoe size. The Al Bundy would not take that type of approach. He just calls someone a fat heifer or a fat slob. David Thiering. Glad to see David still here. JD, what is your personal favorite HOG match that you've called? Is it Will Ospreay versus the Amazing Red? That's one of them. Couple of matches that I loved. My favorite, honestly, you guys are not going to believe this. My favorite match that I've ever called in House of Glory history is Cash Flow Ken Broadway against Leo Rush 2. It's on YouTube. I would suggest you go check it out. I was absolutely, me and my guy at the time, Ryan Shapiro, on fucking point. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. All the ones that I actually liked, the Will Ospreay Red match, I thought that shit was great, but the commentary at that time during the show was fucking terrible. We just had terrible equipment, and it was awful. Red versus Anthony Gangone in a no ropes match. That may or may not be on YouTube. I don't know. And then there was a tag team match. I think it was Sami Callihan and Pentagon Jr. teaming up because Rey Fenix was hurt against LAX. Fucking great match. I think that match is also on YouTube. Most of this shit is on YouTube if you guys want to go check it out. Who else do we got here? You guys got some really good questions, man. I'm glad we got to do this. I should do this a little bit more often. Who else do we got here? Have you ever had a Godfather number 7? Says this guy. I have no idea what that is. Is that a drink? What is that? Sounds like something I'd order. Best in the world, Matt. Do you think TNA will overtake AEW as the number 2 wrestling company in the United States? And your favorite Doom game? My favorite Doom game is Doom 2. And do I think TNA will overtake AEW as the number 2 wrestling company in the United States? No, I don't. TNA doesn't have a $550 million TV deal. I know a lot of people are looking at the decline in AEW and seeing Impact fill some of these bigger arenas now and have the backing of WWE. A TV deal is always the end-all, be-all, and TNA doesn't have that. Their ratings are not anywhere near AEW is, even though AEW is down. That usually just ends the discussion right there. But yes, AEW is still ice cold. Where's a place in the world you haven't been but on your bucket list? Says Omega Kong. I would love to... Well, I haven't been to New Orleans yet. I'd love to go party in New Orleans. I'd love to visit Seattle. I haven't been to Seattle. I'd love to visit Napa Valley. I haven't been to wine country yet. Sipping on a nice glass of white wine. I would love to experience the Northern Lights. It's probably something I'd like to get off the bucket list. I think that'd be fucking cool. JD, what's your favorite concert you've been to? Well, I've seen Alter Bridge 8 times. My first ever concert was Cannibal Corpse, The Crown, Nile, and a Brazilian death metal band that goes by the name of Chrysion. But I'd probably say one of the Symphony X shows that I've been to, one of the Alter Bridge shows I've been to, Mark Tremonti singing Sinatra was amazing last year. I don't really go to a lot of concerts unless it's one of those bands. I'm very particular with who I go spend my money on. Naft Gaming says, Marvel Rivals is ridiculously good. What type of game is it? What type of game is Marvel Rivals, and why should I play it? It's ridiculously good. Billy says, what are your plans for Christmas? Nothing, brother. Spending Christmas Eve with some family and being home on Christmas Day. And then if Jesse wants to work Christmas night with AEW being on, because it's going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom, taped, I will be working. Thomas says, Exodus was one of my favorite thrash bands. Absolutely. Exodus is amazing. I love Exodus. Actually, one of Exodus's actually one of my favorite thrash metal albums ever is Exodus. What is it called? It's Tempo of the Damned. Tempo of the Damned by Exodus. One of my favorite thrash metal albums of all time. Poppy Sensei says, no joke, I'm in a band. When we get some recordings, will you play them on your show to promote my band? It depends on what it is, Poppy Sensei. I gotta hear it first. If it fits the vibe of the show, we'll see. Billy says, we share the same bands. Fucking love Judas Priest and Overkill and Sepultura. Overkill's great, too. Not so much now, lately, because they're older, but earlier Overkill is great. Sidro says, when do you think we get Punk versus Cody? I'm looking at more 2026 for that. Punk versus Cody. Thomas says, JD, who was the most popular wrestler that you've ever met, and who was your favorite wrestler you ever met? Most popular wrestler I ever met? I don't know. I mean, I've shaken hands with a lot of wrestlers. I mean, I've shaken hands with Will Ospreay, Swerve, Sami Callihan, Hardys, the Bucks, Ric Flair. I don't know. My favorite is probably, when it comes to the House of Glory shows, Sami Callihan is always just a very nice guy, always. And an amazing Red is always, even though we work with him, he's always so gracious and always so, you know, thankful for the work that we do for House of Glory. So I love that, man. That energy is always great to be around. Who do you see beating Chelsea Green for the United States title? Says Robert Hurt. I don't know. It's a good question. Honestly, I don't think we should start booking the title off of her yet. She just won it 2 days ago. Honestly. Sue says, do you agree that Rhea Ripley is the 2024 version of Chyna? No. I do not. I do not. Brian Owens, who in your opinion should have been a world champion but never did, Mr. Perfect. Either Mr. Perfect or Jake the Snake. Chris says, JD, would you ever do another meet and greet around WrestleMania season? If it depends. If I'm going to be at WrestleMania, maybe. But if SummerSlam is coming to New Jersey, I may do a meet and greet at the American Dream Mall. Maybe. Kayden Crawford says, who has the better title reign, Roxanne, Liv, or Nia, in your opinion? Roxanne. Metalhead Forever, do you think TNA would lose credibility in viewers bringing Tessa back? We'll see. From the clip that I saw on her return, she got go-away heat. So I don't really know. It's all a wait-and-see game, honestly. Billy says, who was your favorite comedian growing up? Mine was the Dice Man. The Dice Man. Andrew Dice Clay, for sure. MGM Ballin says, my go-to video of yours whenever I need a laugh is from 2016 when you read Facebook comments. Mohammed Abu saying, Roman is god of Earth and India. Would you ever do members-only video like that? I don't know, man. You know, I haven't really come across Facebook pages like that anymore. I mean, it's just more... A lot of the Facebook pages now spread fake news, so it's like... They're mostly bots. Honestly, you know? Who's JD's dark horse of independent wrestling? Charles Mason. It's fucking great. Kayden Crawford says, JD, thoughts on Thunder Rosa getting a title match, even though the past 4 months she's been wrestling Harley Cameron? They don't know what the fuck they're doing, Kayden. Don't care. David Thiering says, Godfather number 7 is a drink. Amaretto plus cola plus Jack Daniels whiskey. Oh. Interesting. I gotta look this up. Don Parker with a $5 super chat. Best version of Kane. Kane vs. Taker, Demon Kane, or Team Hell No Kane? The original Kane. Kane vs. Taker Kane. Bradley Xavier with $2 super chat. Remember when Ryback was a Paul Heyman guy? Unfortunately. And Clone Force 99 says with a $5 super chat, if Cole was with WWE still along with Undisputed Era, I would have had the team up with KO and go after the OG bloodline since Cole and KO are friends. KO Revenge. Yeah, I always wonder what Undisputed Era would look like on WWE TV. You know? Sidro, I do not like Sleep Token, bro. I do not like Sleep Token. Not my type of band, bro. Marvel Rivals is like Overwatch. Oh, okay. Xavier Lopez says, JD, do you still play Pokemon Go? Yes, I do. Every day. Every day. Thomas Franco says, JD, you called a lot of Jacob Fatu matches. Have you ever had a conversation with him? I have not. I have not. What do you think Jacob Fatu's first title will be? I could see him winning a U.S. or an Intercontinental title first. Why rush him to the World Championship? He's not really going to be in the title picture anytime soon, so why rush it? Edward Lou says, do you think John Cena's retirement tour will be one-off matches or have at least one feud against one wrestler with multiple matches? I think it'll be a mixture of both, Edward. I think they'll... obviously, the big story is going to be chasing number 17. But everything is, if they're smart, everything would be weaved around that. Everything would be leading up to it, him earning it, him building himself up to that, and then losing. I don't think he gets number 17. I don't think he wants it. Just to go back to one of the other questions, who should have been a world champion but was not? I mentioned Jake the Snake, and I mentioned Mr. Perfect. Ted DiBiase and Razor Ramon are definitely on that list, too, for sure. All right, guys, we reached the 30-minute limit. That 30 minutes flew the fuck by, huh? It flew the fuck by. I'll answer one more question. This guy, was commentary something you set out to do, or was it offered to you? I have always let it be known I wanted to do it. And I was gracious enough from my guy, Isaac Rodriguez, who used to work sound at House of Glory shows. Come on down. We're looking for a new play-by-play. And then, boom, it just took off from there. So I owe a lot to Isaac, who runs a rival wrestling here on the East Coast. But I appreciate you guys very much, man. This was fun. Maybe we will do it again for sure. Triple M, what's up, brother? $2 super chat. Favorite video game soundtrack, also Vespers tomorrow. Yes, sir, on Vespers. And my favorite video game soundtrack, I don't know, man. That's tough. Doom is great. Final Fantasy VII's great. I don't really pay attention. Destiny's got a great soundtrack, for sure. But, guys, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out for an extra 30 minutes. We will definitely do more of these. I definitely think this is a great idea to get you guys more involved for sure. Someone asked what the song was that I played at the beginning of the stream. We're going to play it right now. Guys, thank you very much for all your support. Tomorrow night, Jason and I, the Salamonster, TNT 77. Absolutely going to be a banger show. It's going to be a great show. Appreciate you guys very much. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of shit. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below in the comment section. Get this in the algorithm. And BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate everybody here tonight. Gonna leave you with the newest banger in the OTS jukebox. I'll see you guys tomorrow with Salamonster right here for episode 77 of Tuesday Night Titans. I'll see you later.